What's going on, guys? In this training, we're going to go through how to actually get started in remote high ticket sales. And this is how you're going to earn more money without starting a business, because everyone else out there is preaching start a business or into building your own brand. And it's just not what some people want to do. And you're possibly watching this because you probably tried all that. It didn't work out. Quite frankly, I'm with you. When I first got started, I didn't enjoy buying inventory and putting money into marketing, and I didn't enjoy all that. So in this training, we're going to show you how you can actually earn more money and get paid like a boss without being the boss and running the show. This is how to start in remote high ticket sales, how to actually find an offer and how to find the business owner you're going to partner with, how to pick your hours, how to get started and actually take your first 3 to 4 calls on hours that suit you most, how to close the deal, and actually how to earn your commission quicker and faster than what you would typically do when you're starting a business, where you're not waiting months or years to get something off the ground. You're doing it in a very rapid time frame, which I'll show you in just a second how. Right now, this is you, and you're trying to make more money in less time. So you can buy the nice things, spend time with your loved ones, travel the world, buy the nice cars, and just have savings, because let's be honest, your boss is going to give you the profit. He's going to pocket for himself. If you realized everything else has gotten more expensive in the world, but you're still making the same, if not just a little bit more, but everything else has gotten more expensive. People are becoming more profitable. Businesses are more profitable. Do you know where all that money is going? It's going to the guy at the top. And so this is where you're going to position yourself as someone at the top, but not running the show. And I'm going to explain how that works in a minute. So what is remote high ticket sales? So this is where you're going to be selling a product from $1,000 to $50,000, right? This can be a digital product or a physical product, right? This is where you can start to earn more money without the stress of starting an actual business. Because everyone out there is saying start a business and entrepreneurship is this massive big deal. It doesn't have to be, right? Sales is the backbone for any business, and learning how to sell effectively will change how you view any business. Because with these two here, sales is the backbone of any business, and learning how to sell effectively, this will give you the best foothold into being able to start a business, because you don't have to worry about how you're going to start a business or what you're going to do. If you can make sales, you have set yourself up to print. And then once you've learned how to print, you never have to worry about money ever again, because you can sell. And then from there, it is also the perfect entry point to entrepreneurship. Anybody who has done something great, Mark Cuban, Warren Buffett, Ray Kroc, who started McDonald's, all these other entrepreneurs, pretty much 90% of them have started in sales of some form. They were in sales of some form, because sales is the way you can actually be an entrepreneur without being an entrepreneur. Because you run your own show, you make sales, you get paid based on the result. And that's the beauty of it. But you're not having to front the bill. I'll explain what I mean by not having to front the bill in a couple of slides, because it's going to be really cool and I'll show you how this works. But you can work in part-time or full-time as well. So you don't have to work a job, because you're allowed to travel and work. Because these business owners aren't sitting there going, where are you? When are you going to work? They're not paying you this random hourly wage where they like own you for this 8 hours of the day and you're like enslaved to them. No, you are actually just doing what you want. You're getting paid for the result. You're not getting paid for the time. So you can come in, make your money, and go and live your freaking life, rather than having to go, oh, I justified the 8 hours of my day and I'm going to go home and do exactly the same BS every single day, and hopefully they're going to pay me and hopefully I'm going to get a pay rise. F that, right? In this, with it though, with high ticket sales, the best thing about it is it's a low skill acquisition cost. What I mean by that is you're not having to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to learn how to do this like other people are starting businesses. The cost of this is so low that you only need you, your voice, a laptop, a phone, and headphones. That's it. You don't need anything else, right? And high demand. It is in more high demand than ever, because business owners are shouting from the rooftops to skilled professionals who can come into a business, help their prospects, because they just don't have time. And getting started is not that hard. This is you right now, and you've probably sat there asking yourself so many times, how do I make more money? You probably tried to start a business in the past. You realize starting a business it's pretty hard. Like, it's not as easy as what they all make it sound. You probably ask yourself the same question. There has to be an easier way. I've asked myself that question years ago so many times. This is where remote high ticket sales is going to come and save the day. Before you go like into all that, you're probably like, who am I, right? Who's this random guy? And my name is Adnan, and I live in between Sydney and the Gold Coast, because I travel for visiting family and being able to spend time with my partner. My interests, I love long walks on the beach, good food, and I love business. I've always been a fan of business, and even in school, I was the guy who was always trying to come up with some idea like selling bottles of Coke and doing all that sort of stuff. And not Coke in that way, Coca-Cola, FYI. I was always the guy who was trying to figure out some way to make more money. And what I found was I loved the business because of the factor of how creative I was and how I was able to help more people and actually get a result. I know you're probably going like, why should I listen to you? Right? Because not too long ago, I was in your position and I was working out of this office with 4 other people, and you can see how confined the space was. Well, the boss was out there living his life, living on the water in Sydney and in his dream apartment, doing all the fun stuff while we were there. Granted, he put a lot of hard work into it, but it was just a factor that I didn't want to suffer the suck that was going in here. This is me when I was at work trying to start my own social media marketing agency, because that's what the guys were telling us to do. And this was me trying to teach and coach while I was at work. And even here, right, I actually got sick while I was at work. And how I got sick was because I was taking on so much stress and taking on so much anxiety that my nervous system actually dropped, and I started getting hives and those type of things. And it wasn't from an allergic reaction. It was actually because I was taking on so much stress, my body was trying to fight back. And then on top of that, like I was wearing the corporate noose, I was doing all that. And this picture here I put in here because it's one of the most important photos to me, because this is my grandfather. Unfortunately, he passed away. And this is the last photo I got with him. And the reason this was the last photo I got with him was because I came home early from work, which I got in trouble for, just to see him before he left. He was going back to his house in Perth when I had opportunities to see him after this photo, but I was so scared and so nervous I was going to get in trouble for taking a couple of weeks off to go on a holiday and actually go and see him, that I missed out on him when he was going through chemo treatment and those type of things, because unfortunately he died from cancer. Watching that was one of the things that was the biggest, like the straw that broke the camel's back, was because I was so dedicated towards my job and I was so scared about my job firing me, and I was like, I needed that money so desperately that I missed out on the crucial times with my family. It was one of those things where I realized that I don't want to miss out on time with my mom. I don't want to miss out on time with my kids. I don't want to miss out on time with my partner. I don't want to miss out on beautiful moments that are never going to come back because I'm so tied up in a job that, quite frankly, doesn't care. Like, they did not care that my grandfather passed away. They just cared about how much money the business is making. If I wasn't there, how can they replace me as fast as possible, like a cog in a wheel? That was the part that made me feel like just a number in the system. I know, like, the whole matrix thing, and like you're probably like, whatever, man. Like, but this was the part that I realized that I wasn't the only one, but I also realized that these moments in life are the most important parts. Since then, I went on a mission and I decided to change everything. And how I did that was I just said no to more things. I prioritized me. I started doing more of the things I want to do. And like, I went on more camping trips with my friends. I went and stayed in random hotel rooms around the world and just traveled with my friends. I hung around with really successful people and people who brought me up. I went on nice holidays, hung out with my friends on boats, sat on my laptop working from the hotel, met really cool people, coached really cool people, and in the meantime made pretty decent money because I just decided to prioritize me. For the first time in my life, I went, you know what? It's my turn. And you might be feeling that right now. You're probably at this tipping point where you're like, it is my turn. And you just need one thing, or you just need to find that one vehicle that you can trust and say, I can freaking do that. I know I can see myself doing that. And sometimes starting a business isn't the thing. At the beginning, I tried to do all of it and I saw some wins and I didn't see some wins. But when I found remote high ticket sales, I started seeing more of this coming in. And with this here, I'm going to show you this because you're probably like, oh, he's just one of those gurus. He's just trying to show it. I'm in the trenches doing this. As you can see here, I'm in the leaderboards and I'm number 1 in the leaderboards because, and not just by like a little bit, like I'm in the top of the leaderboards for most of these because I focused on it and I learned one skill and I got mentored in one skill that paid me a lot. You can see here, this is it, right? I'm lucky enough to have this. And this is exactly what I'm going to teach you. I know you're like, okay, now you're like, okay, this sounds good and I can see it kind of working, but what are you actually selling? Like, how does it actually work? So let me break this down for you. So you probably recognize some of these guys. Like, for example, you probably recognize this guy, you probably recognize this guy over here and his friend over here, and you probably recognize this guy. Most people know this guy. These guys run a business. They're running advertising. What we do is we partner with them as remote high ticket closers. So almost like a contractor closer and salesperson in their business, we get paid a commission. What we do is we find an epic business owner and we partner with them. They have an epic business and they've already done the hard work. He has 219,000 followers, right? These are all followers which are going to turn into a warm lead eventually. And this is where you're going to pick it up. Here is the business owner, and how it works is he's going to run ads to Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, etc. This is where he runs ads to a landing page. As you can see here, this is the landing page. What happens then is he goes to step number 3, where he gets the warm lead info. So this is where he gets them to leave their info. From there, once he gets them to leave the info, he takes them to what's called a VSL, so video sales letter, and this warms them up even more. This gets people salivating at the mouth for his product. He explains how it works, why it's going to help them, all those type of things. This is where he breaks down the step-by-step process of what he does. So it warms them up. People believe him more and they trust him more. And inherently, when they get on the call with you, they're going to trust you more. How it works is basically a tagged lead. So they come in, they opt in for more information. They get an email, they get asked to book in a call. After they've watched that VSL, they book in a call, and then automation works and sends them more information, does all this cool stuff. What happens then is all you do is you jump on the call. So when the person books in at the time, they book in your calendar at a time that suits you best, and you just jump on that call, you have a conversation, and you close the deal. Right? If they don't show up to that call, then they just sent a reminder, and then they're booked in. So sometimes people don't show up to calls because they're busy, right? But this is where you can have 3 or 4 of them a day, and law of averages, you're gonna have at least 1 or 2 of them come in, and they're gonna be a closed deal as long as you do your process right, which is what we teach you. So the key to you making more money is this business owner here. He has a Facebook, he has a YouTube account, he has the TikTok account, he has the following, he has the business, and he needs to be running his business. His job is to make people happy. He's the business owner, right? He has to front all the risk. He has to make sure that everyone's happy, people are getting paid on time. He has to make sure he's out there kissing babies and like doing all business owner things. He needs to handle business things in general. The stressful stuff he's handling. Whereas what we do is we come in and we close, which is, let's just say, for example, and I'm going to break this down. Let's just say, for example, you are selling the marketing offer. So you're selling marketing for businesses like courses, coaching, services, etc. You're selling these type of things. And these business owners have no time to sell. He's out there, he's doing whatever he needs to do. He needs to create content, he needs to put out fires, he needs to do all that. And this is where you're outside of the business helping him out. And you're the linchpin for him making more money, but you're also the most invaluable person in this company. Because if you are good at what you do, you're bringing more people in, which means that he is happier. There's you, and you're in a way better spot now because you know this space is not saturated. And I get asked this question all the time. Is the space saturated? No, it's not. Because there's $740 billion spent in 2024 based on Statista, or however you pronounce it, of digital advertising worldwide. $740 billion. That's a pretty decent amount of people spending money. These are coaches just like him. There are millions of coaches and businesses just like him that are looking for people just like you, remote closers who can be dropped into the business, help their clients, enroll the clients, and then you get paid a commission. And I'll break down how the commission actually works in just a moment. So this is where the business owner partners with you and you offer your skill in exchange for a healthy commission. Now you're like, okay, how do I get the skill? This is where the remote closers blueprint comes in. There's a button below. If this has piqued your attention, it's $27. Jump in, $27, and you can figure out how this can work for you. But if you want to hear more, stay tuned. Okay, so now you're going to probably ask yourself, how much am I going to make? So let's just say we go to our old friend over there and he runs a marketing offer. $3,800 marketing offer, $7,800 marketing offer, $24,800 marketing offer. Commissions, 10%. So your commission based on selling these is $380. Second one is $780. And number 3 is $2,480. That's 10% commission. So now take a second. How much do you actually want to make per week? What would make you happy? What would allow you to spend more time with your family? What would allow you to do more of the things you want to do? What would be like your dream income? What have you thought about? When you're out there stuck in traffic or you're sitting there looking out the window at work, like what are you dreaming about? And which one of these numbers or how many of these numbers would allow you to do what you want to do? Now you're probably also thinking in your head like, okay, well, I can't quit my job and do this because I still need to make money. I've got a family to take care of. Well, let's say you open up 10 spaces per week. So let's say each space is an hour. It's 10 hours in a week, right? If you open up your phone right now and you check your phone, you're probably spending more than that on social media. So you sell, and the best part about it is, let's say you sell this one, the $3,800 offer, making $380. Let's say you have 10 spaces open a week and you sell 3 people. So 30% close rate is the average. Per week, you're making an extra 1,140 per week. You're making 4,560 per month, and you're making an extra 54,720 per year. That's just by selling the cheaper option, right? And it's not all rainbows and daisies. Like, you're gonna have to put in work, but with the right skill and the right teachings, which is what we teach you, this is where you can make this easier. And this is cheaper than you doing Uber, where you're sitting in your car, hoping someone's gonna come on a ride and you're getting paid $10 a freaking ride for a 20-minute drive. Like, you actually get paid handsomely for what you do. Because imagine if you got paid $380 for a 1 hour call, maybe an hour and a half call. Imagine what that would open up for you, an extra $300 coming in, even if you did 1 sale a week, let alone 3. So that's from you only doing 10 hours a week, and you made an extra $1,140 per week. That's most people's mortgages. Imagine how that would open up for you. And like, what could you do if you did this whenever you wanted, wherever you wanted? What would that allow you to do? Like, where are the holidays you'd go? What would you actually do? Like, how would your life actually look? Take a second to actually picture it. If you want to find out more, form there. It's $27. If this has piqued your attention, it's $27. The worst thing you're going to do is you're going to come in, you're going to try it out, and it doesn't work, right? The best case scenario here is you come in, you implement it. Worst thing is we pair you up with a business owner, and you're going to have a business that's driving hot leads to your calendar, and all you're doing is having the conversation and helping them. Look, the worst thing you can do is just say maybe. You could say maybe to you being able to quit your job. You can say maybe to you being able to start a business later on when you want to. You can say maybe to earning more money and doing the things you want to do. You can say maybe to traveling and spending time with a partner. You can say maybe to the things that you actually really want to do, but you're too scared to do. Look, the worst case scenario is you invested $27 into this and it didn't pan out. Like, you've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. So click the link below, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the community, and let's get you paid. Talk to you soon.